High above Bhutan's hidden valleys, where clouds drift silently across ancient Himalayan ridges, stands a monastery surrounded by mist, pine forests, and rare mountain bird life. This is Tharpaling, a place where prayer flags move through the same winds that carry Himalayan birds across the mountains. And on this cold morning in Bhutan, we were about to witness something unforgettable. Our journey across Bhutan had already crossed wetlands, cloud forests, alpine roads, and remote Himalayan valleys. More than 1,000 kilometers through changing landscapes. But something about Tharpaling felt different from the very beginning. Quieter, older, almost hidden from the rest of the world. The day began long before sunrise. At 5:30 in the morning, the Chume Valley was still asleep beneath the cold mountain darkness. We left our small guest house quietly, climbing slowly toward the monastery forests above. The roads narrowed, fog thickened around the pine trees, and with every turn, the mountains became more silent. But honestly, would you ever travel this far into the Himalayas just to experience silence like this? Let us know in the comments, because places like Tharpaling completely change the meaning of travel. Then, slowly, through drifting cloud, Tharpaling Monastery appeared above the valley. Perched high in the mountains of Bumthang for centuries, this sacred place is often called the Land of Liberation. And standing here, surrounded by prayer flags, mist, and endless Himalayan wind, it felt less like visiting a monastery and more like stepping into another rhythm of life. Everything moved slowly here. The clouds, the flags, the light across the rooftops. Even the silence felt alive. Snow pigeons rested quietly above the monastery walls, while deep pine forests disappeared endlessly into fog below. Somewhere inside those forests, the mountains were already waking up. Tharpaling is more than a spiritual refuge. These high-altitude forests also protect extraordinary Himalayan bird life. Every sound carried differently in the cold mountain air. A distant call, wings moving through pine branches, tiny flashes of color vanishing into mist. Slowly, the forests began revealing their hidden life. Southern nutcrackers moved silently between the trees. Rose finches glowed briefly against the dark forest shadows. And everywhere around us, the Himalayas felt alive with movement we could barely see. And if you enjoy journeys like this, remote monasteries, Himalayan wilderness, and rare bird life, consider subscribing and traveling deeper into Bhutan with us. Because further beyond these valleys, the journey only becomes more extraordinary. But there was one bird we secretly hoped to encounter above all others. The Himalayan Monal, one of the most spectacular birds anywhere in the Himalayas. For hours, we searched quietly through the monastery forests, listening, waiting, watching every movement between the trees. Then, suddenly, a flash of color. Deep inside the mist, everyone froze, and for a moment, even the wind disappeared. Emerging slowly from the forest shadows, the male Himalayan Monal stepped into the morning light. Electric blue, emerald green, copper, violet. Every feather changed color as the mountain light moved across it. It didn't even feel real. Then the ritual began. The tail lifted slowly into the cold Himalayan air. Dust rose from the forest floor. And right there, beneath the sacred forests of Tharpaling, the Himalayas revealed their rainbow. We had traveled across Bhutan searching for moments like this, but nothing prepared us for witnessing it in complete silence, surrounded by cloud, monastery bells, and ancient mountain wind. Have you ever experienced a wildlife moment so beautiful that it stayed with you forever? Tell us in the comments which wildlife encounter has remained in your memory the longest. In many places across the world, nature and human history have slowly moved apart. But here in Bhutan, ancient monasteries, sacred forests, and Himalayan wildlife still exist together. Not separated from one another, but connected through the same landscape. And if this journey reminded you why places like this still matter, share this film with someone who loves mountains, wildlife, or the quieter side of travel. As clouds slowly swallowed Tharpaling once again, the monastery disappeared back into mist. The forests became silent, and the Himalayas slowly hid their secrets once more. But some journeys stay with us long after they end, not only because of the places we visit, but because of the moments we experience together along the way. Tharpaling gave us both.